Yo, with ET now, this is the India Development Debate. I'm Sandeep. Gurumurthi joining in from the News Centre in Mumbai. Joining me in Delhi is my colleague Supriya, Shrinate. Straight to the big debate tonight. The idea of a united opposition against the NDA is slowly taking shape. Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan today admitted a no-confidence motion moved by TDP member Kesineni Srinivas, setting the stage for a trial of strength on the floor of the House ahead of the 2019 general election. While there is no real threat to the government, the move assumes significance as it could provide pointers to political realignment. The discussion on the no-trust motion will start on Friday. Incidentally, this is the first no-trust motion that has been admitted in the past 15 years.
Indeed, in his address ahead of the monsoon session, Prime Minister Modi tried to strike the right chord with the opposition, stating that he is ready to discuss any issue and appeal for a productive session. But there are hardly any signs of a truce, as opposition parties are determined to put the BJP government on the mat over mobocracy, increasing communal polarization, rise in unemployment and the agrarian stress. The no-trust motion in fact raises more questions than the answers that it aims to find. For one, with the numbers clearly not on their side, what are the opposition parties trying to achieve? Is the admission of the no-trust motion yet another political masterstroke by Modi to bear the chinks within the opposition? These are some of the questions that we are raising, along with some more crucial ones coming up right here on the India Development Debate this evening. I'm Supriya, Shrinate, and like Sandeep said, we will go straight across to our panels. Sushmita Dev represents the Congress party on the show this evening. Lanka Dinakar, spokesperson of the TDP. Narendra Taneja represents the BJP. I've got a very eminent political commentator, Sanjeev Srivastava, with me as well. Sanjeev Srivastava, let me begin with you. This is the first no-confidence motion moved and accepted against the government in the last 15 years. How symbolic is this one going to be? Because it is moved against a government that has a brute majority. This is the first majority government in economically liberalized India in the last 30 years, with a very powerful leader at the top. So how symbolic is this going to be?
Well, I think, Supriya, you have already said it, that this is all symbolism. And symbolism in the run-up to next year's elections, and the big debate or talking point in political circles is whether the elections are next year or whether they are in December this year. That is the talk which has really gathered some pace in the last couple of days. I think both parties, the treasury benches as well as the opposition, are firing on the shoulders of this no confidence motion to prove a political point, to expose chinks in each other's rival camps' armor, and to score some political points in the eyes of electorate. Personally, I have always felt that what happens in Parliament is of a lot of academic and interest, lot of newsprint interest, but whether it cuts much ice with the electorate in the end, I really don't know. The messaging goes home, but how much it translates in terms of really electorate shifting their loyalties or moving camps is something which, at least personally, I have never been able to figure out. But clearly, election season is on us.
Right.
Everything between now and the next elections, whether they have held on time or earlier, is now, we are completely into political season, election season.
Indeed, and you're saying that no one's going to be able to extract any political dividend out of this move, if at all. That's the crux of what Sanjeev Srivastava said in his opening remark. Narendra Taneja, the fact that this has been moved by the Telugu Desam party, a former ally of the BJP, and the manner in which the opposition parties are rallying around TDP, would you concede that this is a signal, a sign of opposition unity?
No, I mean, depends how you want to look at it. Honestly, I mean, the first thing that the Prime Minister did this morning was to convey to the nation and to all political parties that the government is ready to debate anything and everything in the House. That was the first thing he said. But honestly, one does really know, where to start and where to find a common ground, in the sense because these parties, especially the Congress party, they insist that they insist that a rabbit, the whole world call it that creature a rabbit, but they say no, it's an elephant. Agree with us, it's an elephant. The world says it's a rabbit. The experts say it's a rabbit. So, I mean, it's deliberate. The idea is to create confusion, idea is to create headlines, idea is to basically, punch beyond your weight and show, look, we matter, we are a national party, we are the alternative, Rahul is the alternative, etc. And in the process to create confusion in the minds of the people and create some kind of anarchy in the kind of public discourse. Create this anarchy, say there is there is that, there is go abroad, talk, look, for instance, at the time when they were saying it, Shashi Tharoor was going to new thing, he said Hindu Talibans. So this is basically is part of a
Naren Taneja, the topic of discussion here is the no confidence motion. Okay, Naren Taneja, the topic of discussion here is the no confidence motion, and just to remind our viewers here, the no confidence motion that is going to be tabled and is going to be taken up has been moved by the TDP, which is your former ally. So let's not lose sight of the fact there. We can discuss the issue on which it has been raised, yes, which is Andhra Pradesh and betrayal of Andhra Pradesh, but this has been raised by your former ally, and they have taken the lead. Let me, just give me 1 second. Okay, I need to ask. All right, sir. I need to ask Sushmita Dev, who represents the Congress party here, is also President Mahila Congress, a very clear-cut question, Ms. Dev. You clearly don't have the numbers. The opposition doesn't have the numbers. What is the aim of this no-confidence motion then? Is this simply to embarrass the government, or is this a measure to prove that people have lost their trust in Mr. Modi?
See, there are a couple of aspects to this no confidence motion, which I think the viewers need to understand. Number one, you yourself said that Narendra Modi ji came with a historical mandate. And number two, you said that a no confidence motion hasn't come in the parliament in decades. Now the question is, here is a no confidence motion against a government that has a huge majority. And I think that in itself speaks volumes, and add to that the fact that it has been moved by one of his own allies. When a government with such a huge mandate comes, why is the opposition or other parties from the other than the BJP choosing to pick an instrument in parliamentary procedure which is a no confidence? If we discuss all the issues that the country is facing today, there are many instruments under which we can debate it. But today, a historical government with a historical mandate is actually facing a no confidence motion out of all the other tools that are available to us, and that too from an alliance which is a party which is allied with them. All these things, according to me, hold a lot of meaning in democracy and in a parliamentary system. I heard someone saying that it has absolutely no traction with the electorate. But I'd like to believe otherwise, because all the rancor and noise and debates that go on television when parliament is stalled, then that shouldn't happen either if the electorate don't care. It matters, and I think Prime Minister Modi needs to do some introspection, and I believe it's going to be a good debate, and I believe that it's going to be a huge test, because recently we've seen allies like Shiv Sena, etc. being very unhappy with Prime Minister Modi. Add to that the fact that the recent by-elections have led to loss of seats in the Rajya Sabha by the BJP.
Okay. I take that point.
They are no longer an absolute majority.
Right.
They have a simple majority.
Okay. You're saying it will also test the loyalty of BJP allies. Will it or will it not? We will soon find out, and we are all for a good debate, whether on television or in the parliament. We're all for a good debate. But Lanka Dinakar, the proposed confidence vote by TDP asks why Andhra Pradesh should not get tax stops guaranteed to special category states. The reality is that Andhra Pradesh is not tribal or inaccessible or linguistically or ethnically backward, and so it doesn't qualify. But this is a clear political move. It suited you to be a part of the government for 3 years and then to yield political dividend. You walked out of the government, and now you're moving a no confidence move to signal to your electorates. Is that reason enough to move a no confidence motion, sir?
Is it quite ironical that the characteristic of Andhra Pradesh has arisen just now, or those things which you explained was in existence previously itself? When the then Prime Minister Monsoon Singh ji, under the pressure of Venkaiah ji and Arun Jaitley, declared special category status for the period of 5 years for the state of residuary Andhra Pradesh. it is clear that after bifurcation, the state is becoming non-viable nature by means of revenue deficit and fiscal deficit together. It is going to be mountain. The debt, like anything, even repayment of interest is burdensome. That's why the then Prime Minister gave by means of adjournance in Rajya Sabha with the pressure of BJP leaders Arun Jaitley and Venkaiah ji. As a Prime Minister candidate, NDA candidate, Modi ji also has very categorically told that 10-year special category status will be granted after coming into the power by NDA. These are all known facts. Now, if they tell the different stories, that means what it is. You told that various characteristics which are required for special category status. Yes, I accept this. Ultimate characteristic is non-viable nature. When there is a gap between the receipts and payments of a state, that to be a state which was bifurcated against to the interest of the people of 5 crores people in Andhra Pradesh. There is no capital. There is a huge extent of debt transferred from the United Andhra Pradesh.
Lankadinakar, we come in. All right. I get your point. No, I get your point and I get your angst of why you want to put this. Okay, okay. I get your point. I get your point and I understand this is a political issue that you would want to highlight in the floor of the House. Yes. Lankadinakar, I get your point and I understand your reasons for moving this mono-confidence. But I just want to go back, just give me a minute, I'll come back to you. I want to go back to Sushmita Dev and Ms. Dev, when told that the opposition doesn't have the numbers on her way out of the House, what made the UPA chief Sonia Gandhi say, who says we don't have the numbers? Because many people are now questioning, is it 2003 all over again, where Vajpayee government actually won by 3 votes? And Ram Gopal Yadav, again somebody who's going to be supporting this with the opposition, says, Sarkar girane laik jab number nahi hai, vishwas ye hai ki janta ke man mein avishwas paida kar de. Is this constructive politics?
I think in a democracy, when we challenge the credibility of our government, doesn't matter which, how we do it, provided it's within the parliamentary procedure. To say it's not constructive policy, I mean, I will not agree with that argument. And when it comes to Mrs. Gandhi saying that we do have the numbers, is in a democracy, please believe me that you cannot, before the debate starts, come to a conclusion that it's a foregone conclusion. I think that in itself is undermining the strength of a democracy. You have seen that in GST, when the GST bill was being introduced in Parliament, many parties came together, but on different issues, many parties had different objections. So, you know, inside the Parliament, lot of things will unfold now, and I'm glad it will. It's a healthy exercise, and I believe that is not going to be a cakewalk for the Narendra Modi ji's party in the Parliament, and I assure you that he's not going to win it hands down.
Okay. Sushmita Dev says it's not going to be a cakewalk. The numbers as things stand are stacked comfortably in favor of BJP, and Narendra Taneja, no one's going to deny that. But to pick up on a point made by Sushmita earlier, will it now also become evident where do some of your allies stand ahead of 2019? Because at the end of the debate, a division of votes would show potential dwindling numbers of the alliance. TDP is out. One will be keen to know whether other allies like like Shiv Sena, who have expressed some sort of resentment, the Shiromani Akali Dal, what would they do? Would they vote with the BJP? Would they abstain from voting? What about ADMK? What about TRS? Which way will BJD? So, I mean, there are a lot of these permutations and combinations that will come into play.
You see, let's not forget one thing. Look at the political history of India. Alliances are always dynamic platforms. So TDP today might be doing what they are doing, but what is the guarantee that post 2019 they are not back to NDA? Look, I mean, they are doing whatever they are doing. First of all, they are doing as part of the Congress and others efforts of Mahagathbandhan or whatever they call it. And but they are doing it, and this narrative they are building. Center didn't do this for us, is all basically to survive in their state. They are doing it for them. It's an existential crisis. So they are doing all this, they're playing this game, but they're doing it on behalf of Congress and other political parties. Let's not lose the sight of this fact. But at the same time, the question is that people have given us the mandate. We have the numbers. And people have given us those numbers. And as far as they are concerned, if they want to use some instrument as part of the parliamentary, debates, okay, fine, do it. But next 2-3 days or whatever they want to do, the point is they're only going to waste people's time and the public money. Nothing is going to come out of it. But at the same time, it's democratic. It's okay. We respect it. We have no issue with that. The question is that if they do it only to build some narratives which don't, or things which don't exist, calling rabbit an elephant and wanting to us to believe that it's an elephant, it's not going to work. The question is, if they are serious about issues that concern the people of this country, they have to come forward and sit down and find a common ground. Prime Minister said we are ready to debate anything and everything. They have not responded to it. They come out with, this no confidence toy, whatever it is. So now the point is that we are serious. If, for instance, they don't cooperate, if they go on with this, people of India can see through it. Every household has got a television and a mobile in hand, and we will go further, help people to understand, have conversation with them. Look what these guys are doing.
Okay. All right, Naren Taneja, you're raising an important point that the TDP is doing this at the behest of other opposition parties. They are trying to score a political brownie point there, and you believe they'll come back to the NDA fold after 2019. Let me ask the TDP representative on the show, Mr. Lanka Dinakar, will you join the NDA back in 2019, and is this just a political ploy?
First of all, I would like to give clarification. It is not politics. I am talking about purely economics. After bifurcation of the state, sustainability and viability of the state related to the various post-bifurcation issues.
NDA back.
Those
You've
are four
exited
issues.
the NDA. Will you join the NDA back?
Yeah. Wait. It is not good to interrupt, because when he raises series of points, I need to give my point and then I will tell you what you have asked. Main point is,
give your point but answer my question.
The Reorganization Act, which was passed in the Parliament, means, yes, please wait 1 minute. AP reorganization passed where? It was passed in the Parliament, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. That means it is the aspiration of 130 crore people giving some kind of assurances to the state of Andhra Pradesh for 5 crore people after bifurcation. So it is the promise for 130 crore people by the Parliament, which is not fulfilling. Means it is not politics, it is economics. It is economics.
Okay.
Yes, purely economics, which is...
It is economics, it is not politics. Will you go back into the NDA fold is the question I'm asking you.
Today,
Lanka Dinakar.
Yeah, today.
Please, sir, my only question is, this is economics and not politics. Will
they are
you go
facing
back
this
and join the NDA?
no confidence motion from a trustworthy friendly ally. Yeah, non-trustworthy partner, friendly ally, introduce no confidence motion means what it is. You betrayed the people of Andhra Pradesh, you betrayed your friend, you betrayed your allies, you always kept aside, run aside.
Mr. Dinakar, I wish you'd answer a straight question. But I hear you. I hear you, Mr. Dinakar. I wish you'd answer a straight question. We have done debates on AP bifurcation, the need for assistance. We've done that. Unfortunately, this debate is on the no confidence motion. So I don't want that particular issue to occupy all the airtime. Allow me to interrupt you, sir. I need to go to Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava.
If you have a guts to conduct a debate, if you have guts to conduct a debate in Parliament, no confidence motion may be carried out in previous session itself.
Okay, fair enough. I take that point. Sanjeev Srivastava, are we, since debate is the flavor of the season,
allow me to rebut if you have time.
I'll come to Naren Taneja. Let me get a word in from Sanjeev Srivastava. Are we in for a real debate on issues of, public importance, both from the government and opposition? In some sense, debate is the most crucial and operative outcome of this no confidence motion, not really what transpires at the end of it, but the process, the debate that will, is it certain that the broad, what the broad contours of this debate will be? What do you think will the opposition put forth in this no confidence motion debate? It's unlikely to be just about the Andhra Pradesh bifurcation issue. The Congress will use this opportunity to talk about mob lynching, law and order breakdown, etc., etc. What will the BJP, how will the BJP use this opportunity to send a message? What do you see happening in the debate?
See, it has been quite some time since one has seen a debate which would be memorable or which can be talked about in the Parliament. And that's what I meant when I said that what happens in Parliament these days, just because the institution has lost so much credibility in the eyes of the electorate, that it doesn't catch much political ice that doesn't mean that it is not of political significance. Because in this particular no confidence motion, in the run up to that, what we are seeing is some kind of a attempt to cobble together alliances on one side, the opposition side, and testing of alliances on the governing party side, which will be very interesting. So, while Supriya was asking whether TDP will go back to NDA in 2019, what is equally interesting in my view is that can the unthinkable happen? Can the TDP ally with the Congress party in Andhra Pradesh? You know, the whole TDP formation, NT Rama Rao, anti-Congressism, humiliation of NT Rama Rao. So, a lot of interesting things are playing out, and that's what is the what I think is of interest. The manner in which BSP office bearer has been stripped of his post for making a comment against Rahul Gandhi. The manner in which a Bihar ally, Mr. Kushwaha, central minister, is asking for more than his 3 seats, Lok Sabha seats of last time, and asking for a bigger stature than Nitish Kumar. So all these other side plays and side shows which are going on at the time of this parliament session actually inject a lot of political significance into this no confidence debate, which I think the outcome we know. So yes, if we have some good debates, great. But I think also it will test the alliances on both sides. And will Shiv Sena actually surprise people?
And
that's the big question. Yes.
Right. Absolutely. Sanjeev Shrivastava, that's a big question. Will Shiv Sena vote along with the BJP? Will they abstain? And this is going to set the stage for 2019. There is no denying that. But Naren Taneja, before I go back to Sushmita Dev to ask another question, I have a very quick question to ask of you. Why is the BJP hesitant? Why were you shying away from this debate, which you're sure of winning, given that you have your numbers alone? I mean, forget NDAs. You've got 273 MPs. You're well over the halfway mark. You've got a 310 with NDA. What could your possible reservation be? And my hunch is it uncomfortable issues of governance lapses that is perhaps fueling this hesitance? I mean, what are you hesitant about? I mean, why are you so nervous? You've got the numbers. You've issued a whip. Why did you need to do that?
No. The question is that as far as debate is concerned, I mean, always welcome in parliament and outside parliament. Debates are happening all the time, 24/7. You see, I don't really think that as far as we were not hesitant, but look at, if you dig into your archive and see at the footage of your television camera, you will find that time what you know, TDP guys, what they were doing, another Congress, another, they will, you know, go into the well and just make noise. They just won't let the parliament function. And this decision ultimately has to be taken by the speaker, who doesn't belong to Bharatiya Janata Party. But what was happening, just remember those scenes. There was absolutely nothing. I mean, we were very confident that they were not interested in any debate. They just wanted to create scenes. That's what they've been doing the last 2.5 years now. The question is now they have this thing, and let us see. We are very interested. We'll look forward to if they want to. We want to have meaty, good debate on the issues which are important for the people of this country. And quality debate and meaty debate. And you know, that's what we want, and we are prepared. The question is, are they prepared? Is Mr. Rahul Gandhi going to really talk like a statesman, talk like a leader of the opposition, talk like the president of a national party? I don't think so. Just wait. What I suspect is only to create tamasha, only to basically get headlines. But if they surprise me, I'll be very happy to take my words back. But to me, it looks like it's just going to be just, you know, this all kind of stuff they want to talk about. Create headlines if possible.
You're saying, Naren Taneja, you're saying it's only for tamasha.
We have the numbers. People have given us the mandate.
Naren Taneja, I have just 3 minutes left on the show. Naren Taneja, allow me to interrupt you. You're saying it's only for tamasha. Very quickly, Sushmita Dev, in some sense, does it not give the Prime Minister, a fiery, eloquent orator, an opportunity to tear into the opposition? In some sense, opposition and of course states governed by his political adversaries. Are you giving the Prime Minister and the government an opportunity to go on the floor of the House and say it's me versus the rest? Look at this opposition coming together to target me. You know, the narrative that the government wants to sort of gain control of. Is that what you think could happen?
Well, I'll agree with you in one aspect, that all that the Prime Minister is about is oration, because there's no delivery there. But listen, in a democracy, accountability matters. You and I can keep debating on television and channels. None of this goes on record. When you debate something in Lok Sabha and you list the failures of our government and why we as an opposition don't have confidence in the Prime Minister, it goes on record. I mean, look at the state of affairs. You know, look at the state of what's happening with the public sector banks, what's happening with the farmers, what's happening with employment, what's happening with Dalits, what's happening with the situation, overall mob lynching, the communal tensions. This must be brought on record. And you can't just undermine it saying, oh, you know, the opposition is doing drama. Democracy is about bringing things on record in the parliament and no one can move away. And when the Prime Minister speaks, I mean, he is a showman to a great extent. But the fact is, he has to be made accountable to it in the Lok Sabha. Because on televisions, nothing go on record. And a government with a huge majority is having to face a no confidence motion in itself talks, speaks volumes. I can tell you this much, and there's no question of undermining of what's going to begin in Parliament on Friday.
No, I agree with large parts of what you say, that a government with a brute majority facing no confidence doesn't augur very well, at least for its image. But Sanjeev Srivastava, apart from the politics, I think I want to put the focus back on the legislative agenda. And do you believe with the no confidence motion out of the way, both for the opposition and for the government, we are going to see some serious decision making happen in the House? Because there are commentators who've perhaps raised questions on, should you be even expecting the opposition to coordinate? Because here they are questioning the very legitimacy of this government. Will we actually see focus shift back to legislation?
Well, to be fair to this government, they have managed to carry out whatever legislative agenda they really want to implement and execute, even whether there is opposition there in the House or the opposition has walked out or boycotted. So I think the bills or the legislations which the government wants to come out with, they will go ahead and press with that. And the opposition may or may not cooperate. That is something which we cannot decide right now. But clearly, while we were talking about Prime Minister's oratory, Supriya, you asked Sushmita, that is a given that he'll use the opportunity to make home his point. I will be personally very curious to know who from the opposition side will actually tear into the Prime Minister's efforts to show that his government has done well. That'll be the bigger test. Who from the opposition ranks will take on the Prime Minister in this debate and take him on convincingly there is a lot of reason and logic there.
Sure.
But can somebody match him as far as oratory and eloquence is concerned? That will be really interesting to wait and watch for.
Oh yes, it's a debate that you don't want to miss. Friday is when it's all stacked up. The big no confidence motion will and the debate on it will kick off. We'll leave it at that. Hopefully we will have a debate on the debate in the floor of the House on Friday. Can't thank this wonderful panel enough. Sushmita, Dev, good having you on the India Development Debate. Naren Taneja, always a pleasure having you as well. And of course, we've got Sanjeev Srivastava and joining us as well with your views. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us on this edition of the India Development Debate. The motive of a no-confidence motion is not just ouster of the government, definitely not with this one because the government is extremely safe. But yes, this no-confidence motion aims to raise crucial questions of governance and intends to ignite a debate on some of the most raging current issues.
Indeed, we at TT now look forward to some meaningful debate which will hopefully add to public discourse. For too long, our politicians have let us down. We hope once this is done and over with, the opposition will aid passage of crucial legislation and the government will close in ranks, pull up its socks and begin to deliver on those. Thanks very much for being with us on this edition of the India Development Debate.